Well, I am a designer, a general designer, but since 10 years I try to understand something more about food and food design. Why? Because food is a special material, and because food and design are two arguments that in Italy works very well. Well, my question is, I want to speak to you about the difference between food design or design for food, because it's very important to understand why we need something food design and not design for food. Okay, this is the question, and I start with two famous objects. It's very easy for us to understand what is behind this object, why the designer made work with this form and with something beauty and something with as very easy function. So we are able to understand this kind of object, and the chair too. If you see this chair, you are able to understand I like or I don't like it. Why? Because of a sort, a list of a series of specific arguments. This is okay. Another very different object. This is a mixture between design, engineering, technologic, and fashion, and so on. It's a very beautiful object, but it's another kind of object that we are able to understand, because it's made with the components that we can understand, we can divide, we know the materials, we know the components, we know the way in and we know what is behind the project. Okay, I can stop it. But this is the question for us. Food is a very different material, because this is of course a famous phrase by Feuerbach, and he said that man is what he eats, man or women, of course, and this means that the food is out of us at first, but then it's inside us. And this changes all the parameters. So it's very important to understand in another way, to choose another way to catalog this material, this argument. The other base that I want to see you is a famous phrase by Wendell Berry. It's an American writer and agriculture. He say that eating is an agricultural act, and it's very important to understand this, because it's the basis of my thought, because it means that the food, behind the food, there is a very complex proceeding, and it starts from the earth, of course, and then there are a lot of different proceedings. There is a long chain of people who at the end bring to you something to eat and something to put on your dish. Okay. Well, at this point we can say what is design what is food design, or what is design for food. Because, for example, a tractor is something that you can use at the beginning of the process, and you can say this is something about food design. But this is the question. For us, it's possible to classify all the objects who belong to the chain as food design, because it's not interested. And this kind of object, you can classify this kind of object like the chair, like the computer, like the chaise longue, because you have the same thought, the same kind of proceeding to project it. This is another food design object question, but because it's a fishing boat, and with this kind of object you can take something to eat. But I think it's not food design. It's design for food. It's something to take food and bring to you. Another, go on. This is a very important. It's important object because it wins the Compositor International. The Compositor, it's a very important awards, famous in all the world, and it wins 2 years ago. With the ADI, our Association of Industrial Design, we make a special edition of Compositor Internazionale, and if you want to see, I leave it for you. And this won an award. But I think that this is another design for food and not food design, because another time the parameters are the same that the other objects. Another kind of series of objects that usually you say it's food design, but for me it's always design for food, because it's very easy to understand if you like it, what is the material, if you like it or not. Even for the multifunctional robot, it have a different combination of functional, but the parameters are always the same. And from here, start the question. Because this is food, this is lentils, this is a very nice food, because of the form, because of the color, and I like it, okay? And but from now on, start a series of problems, the series of questions, because when you see the lentils in this way, you see something of good. But I ask you, is the same beautiful, this plate, for you? It's beautiful, it's nice, it's good? I don't know. I think it's just good, maybe. I don't know, because I can hear, I can feel the smell, and I can feel the flavor and so on. But this is the really true difference between the other series of objects and the food. The food is very difficult to understand about food, because it's not beautiful. Sometimes yes, sometimes not. And so we had to find another categories of thought to classify these arguments. Food is a process, not food, but all the chain that bring the food to your table, to your mouth, inside you. It's another way, we need another way to think about food because it's very, very different. This is not beautiful, sure, and it is change, no? Because this is a particular the beginning of this kind of food. This is a transformation that is not beautiful, and the same, of course, we can say about other kind of food. I want to go on with the most important argument for Italian, that is the pasta, of course. And it's another case in which we can speak about something beautiful, because this is nice, the shape is beautiful, and in this part, in this moment, this material is beautiful, I think. But, and this is another way, this is a spaghetti. Spaghetti, it's very strange, no? Because we think that that industrial design born in in England and go on in Germany and then in Italy, but very late. But if you think very well, spaghetti was born in Naples at the beginning of 18th century, and it's a typical industrial design object because every piece is reproduced in equal billion of pieces, and is a nice object, I think, because it's very simple. It's very there is the beauty and the function. And so it's, I think it's possible to classify this kind of object like industrial design object. Okay, start another, but I don't know if it's possible to have audio or not. No. Okay, vabbè. So.
There's no audio for the whole day.
Okay, it's not very important because, of course, is the Barilla Factory and is the chain of the process work of the chain about the spaghetti. They start, of course, from the beginning and finish with the packaging. We don't know what they are thinking, but it's very strange because qui no, se non c'è un altoparlante fuori mi sa che non. O qui anche. No, ok. Okay, well, the meaning is that it's a really industrial proceeding, and like this is a typical phase. It's a typical industrial proceeding, like the proceeding when we to make a chair or another kind of object. And okay, we can go on. This is another interesting new approach to food, because maybe it's the future, maybe not, I don't know. But this is a new way to build something of edible. Of course, with the 3D printing, it's possible to make a sort of unimaginable shapes. I don't know if it's very good, but it's very interesting. Okay. This is another interesting movie because it's a factory in England in 1950, made by an Italian industry, and is a spaghetti factory. It's interesting to see the difference between the new way, the new way to produce, and the old way, very slow and very. Yeah, this is the part, the most important part of the proceeding. Okay, you can go. Okay, I want to show you the other part of the telling, because before spaghetti was a nice or beautiful object, no? Now I can see, like the lentils, I can see that it's not a beautiful object, of course, and maybe it's good, maybe the smell is good, but the object is not beautiful. So this is the point. We have to create other thing of parameters, because it's too different respect other kind of object. And this is the other part, the important philosophy part, because if you use a chair, I sit on chair and I stand up, and the chair is always the same, no? Here is very different, because I eat something and then there is anything, no more. There is the empty plate, and the edible part, it's inside me. So it's a new kind, it's a new thought about the object. We have to think in different ways. We have to think that the food design, it's a process. And we have to understand this kind of argument in this way. It's not beautiful, maybe it's beautiful, but not always it's beautiful. It's a good or not good process. And this is the end, of course, of the story. And okay, before to start another video, I like to show you something. Michele, do you want to? Okay, Nerina, can you help me to? Perché Michele. Okay, Michele, come here. So you can explain your wonderful project.
Do you want me to translate? What do you want?
Yeah. To help. Okay, Nerina D'Annunzio is the head of the director of Head of Rome. It's a
So let's start. Come away here, please. No, io non so niente.
So what is why this kind of pasta, particular pasta, wins the Compasso d'Oro. No, it's inside this book, and it wins the Compasso d'Oro because there is a very strange and important thought, because born from the Campania, where Michele Cuomo lives, and in which there is an old factory of
Yes,
gum.
this is a huge old tradition in the south of Italy, and this kind of pasta you can find only in Campania, only in this region. So, and as a big tradition and a very nice story, because the girls without a husband,
Yeah.
they used to cut this pasta in several parts to make the food. So we call them Italian zite, yes? Candele. Okay, that means without a husband. Okay. So
Yes, but it's in the.
which is the origin of the project? Which is the origine del progetto?
Vabbè, allora,
In italiano poi vediamo di.
parlo in italiano.
Ok.
Attore annunziato nel 1750 è stata costruita sul progetto di Vanvitelli la prima fabbrica, real fabbrica d'armi del Borbone.
So is 1754 in Torre Annunziata Place, the Vanvitelli built the first pasta factory.
No.
No.
the first-
Fabbrica d'armi.
the first arms.
Yeah.
Weapons
Weapons.
industrial factory. Okay.
Per la realizzazione dei fucili della parte militare c'era bisogno di un addestramento del personale sulla meccanica di precisione.
Okay, to produce these arms, these weapons, they need special training for the employees to understand how the mechanical parts are built for the weapons. So it was a very important training part of the job.
Contemporaneamente diventa industriale la produzione della pasta, per cui gli stessi addetti che avevano imparato la meccanica di precisione per le armi iniziano a produrre le trafile per far uscire diverse forme di pasta.
Okay, at the same time, the pasta factory was starting in industrial production, and the same employees has to learn how to manage weapons and how to manage the production of pasta.
Poi nel 1860 c'è la rivoluzione nelle armi, c'è la canna liscia, viene rigata elicoidalmente interna perché il colpo deve andare dritto.
Oh, man. Okay. Someone wants to translate that got the point?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, fine.
So this in 1860 with a change in the production of weapons, they used to do straight weapons with internally they switched to having screw.
Yeah.
Yes, inside there was a vise inside, and so that the shot would go straight. And
E quindi abbiamo, però questo era impossibile produrlo con la pasta.
but you couldn't do that with pasta.
E noi siamo riusciti a produrlo come omaggio dell'ultimo dei pastifici di Torre Annunziata alla Real Fabbrica d'Armi.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Okay, and they did it on purpose as a gift to this memory, and they did it the pasta in the same way how they made the
L'ultima cosa,
weapons.
questa lavorazione agisce sull'effetto memoria del materiale, per cui la lunghezza del materiale da piccolo a lungo con la stessa forma influisce sulla permeabilità del materiale. Più è lungo più diventa permeabile, più è lungo e si riducono i tempi di cottura, aumenta la possibilità di acquisire il condimento fino dal 10% al 60%.
Oh, but that's really interesting. It's a matter of size. He said from the smallest one to the largest one. The last one is the the more permeable, so get more sauce, and the time of cooking is completely different. So the idea is having this kind of pasta is the best way to taste a real good dish of pasta with sauce, correct?
Yeah, okay. And, okay, thank you. This is,
But I think that you have to talk about the packaging.
of
and
course, no.
everything. No?
It's not so
Don't you?
important in this
Okay.
case. But no, it's very important because this is a typical case of design made in a territory, in a special territory. And I can say that it's something like food identity territory, no? Because it's a vision that you have of your country, and you take something that it doesn't exist anymore, and you take the old know-how and to make something new. It's very interesting for me.
Means food design deals with the identity of territories. That's so important because you can have a project that can represent your country, your region, your place.
Yeah.
So it's more than just design.
Another time, this is not beautiful. Sorry.
You want to say something? No. Okay.
This is not very beautiful, but it's very functional, it's very interesting, it's very good because it takes very well the soup, okay? And so it's a very interesting project, and it wins these awards. Okay, okay. I like to show you what happened, because now we have to introduce a series of points that speak about food design that is different from design for food. Okay, so I show you after this. Okay, this is the map. Allora, what's happened in Expo? It was about all the kind of feeding for planet, energy for life. Inside there is design for food, that is another little part of this. Inside design for food there is food design, that is what we are speaking about now. Okay. Why do we need something called food design? Because food is not, we say already, food is not usually beautiful like other object. Food is in front of you before you eating, and then it's inside. So food design is a system design based on innovation and seriality, who requires new rules, and the new rules, we write the new rules and declaim the new rules with the Food Design Manifesto 3 years ago, before Expo in Milano, with ADI. ADI is it's the association of the Italian designer, and the Compasso d'Oro is the awards that exist since 70 years. Okay. Sorry, this is before, because in the Grattacielo Pirelli in Milano, we declaimed the Food Design Manifesto, and the Food Design Manifesto have 10 points, and we think that these 10 points are the definition of the more or less of the food design. Because I say more or less because food is it's argument that go on that always take changement, because it's based on behavior of the people. Food design is design of food, or rather the activity of processing for food more effectively in order to make the action of purchasing edible substances in a given context, environment, or place or consumption, but correct and pleasurable. This means that food design is something that starts from edible part and go on with the communication, and go on with the packaging, and go on with the distribution, and go on with the way to use and to consume the food. Why it's so important to define food design? Because if you want to speak about design of food, it's very important that you don't speak about sorry, but this kind of object, because they are different. They are objects like the other, and this kind of object. Okay, and
may I ask you something? Francesco?
yeah.
Innovation is a part of the design process?
Yeah, and now we go to see the 10 points and try to explain the 10 points. Okay, well, this is the first. Food design deals with design in the food sector. And those, I think, are basic food design and historic food design object. There is this very Italian object, but it's very interesting because there is the project in the part, edible part, in the shape, in the packaging, and inside the packaging there is another kind of communication that is very interesting, that is the message. And it's something like the cooking, the Chinese cooking. Well, this is another, of course, important, historical important object of food design. And this is, as I said before, another, it's very different because this is just edible part, and this is, here is very important, not the edible part, but the shapes and the communication. Okay. Food design is a specific design area that aims to produce effective solution for the enjoyment of food in specific contexts and situation. So we define food design something that is defined in a specific situation and context. This is very important because, for instance, the dish is it's possible to use it in every context. No, it's not. For us in food design, it's important this part. Okay, and okay, go on. Food design aims to give shapes to the interfaces and services in the way that is most appropriate to the circumstances in which the product is consumed. So I like to speak about this because it's our project, I intend a project of mine, and another person that is Marco Piedosante, that I don't know if I saw before, Marco Piedosante, okay. And this was a lunch, lunchbox, sorry, for Italo, for the train, for a new train. It was used for 3 years. It was born with Italy, the famous store, and we study with Italy. We study all the pieces to put inside, in which way to put inside, and in which way we have to put in the packaging. It's better to cut it or not. It's better a bottle of glass, or plastic. I don't know. In this case, was better glass, and because we need to make we need to make an imaging of eye level, because the public was the target was a target it costs about 12, or it depends of the taste, but more or less 12 or 15 euros. And it goes on for 3 years. But the most difficult part was the box, because the box have to go on, not closed, but so. Oh, this is another important project that we speak about in another moment, but it's important that the packaging goes the travel in this way, because if not, it's too bigger. And it's difficult to make an object that don't have a clue, and it's easy to close. And when it's open, there is something that divide you and the other passenger, no? Because you are making something good for you, but it's not good for the other passenger. Okay, and go on. The manufacturability and seriality of a product or service are the condition under which a design may be classified as food design. Okay, it's important that we speak about food design when we speak about seriality. So, just a restaurant is not project for seriality is not food design. Food design is Italy. Food design is McDonald's. Food design is Grom. Food design is a format, a food format. I have to start quickly, and this other way of to make food design. This is very strange because we usually when we start we hate all the imaging around the chef, because people thought that food design was the plate, the plate of the chef. But the chef now make something very interesting, because they make research and they make something of reality. This is a complex vision of food design, because some factories start from edible part and then go on with the communication, and then go on with the packaging, and they go on with the gift, and they go on with the place of consumption. There is another part, the 7th point, is about the places in which you can make a distribution on consumption. And there is another part, there is something that it's important, because it's the quality, it's the touch with the territories. It's very important, especially, of course, in Italy. And there is an ethical aspect, of course, of the food design. This is the 9th point. And the other important point is the 10, because a food design product is designed with the sole purpose of generating benefit for the users. This is important because it's the base of all design, and especially when you speak about the food. And now in November we start with the 11th point, and it speaks about the food for child, because it's another important point. Okay, now the last, because we are finishing. I would like that Sabina, would you like to speak something about this box? Yes, I think it's very nice. Okay, dai.
I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. It was an experience. I made this with Francesco and Marco in occasion of an international meeting that took place in Rome during our semester presidency of the European Union. So I had this need to let 200 people have a lunch in just 1 hour. It was difficult because of the traditional way of delivering the food. You know, when you have to go through a table and bring the food. So I thought, because I knew about the lunchbox, that maybe a lunchbox could have been a solution. And so we designed together this. It was in relation also with the 2015 national and international conference concerning food that took place in Milano, in Italy. So in connection with that, because it was at the end of 2014 that we did this event that took place. And so using European funds, as you can see at the bottom of the box, you have the shape of 4 Italian regions. The regions that are in the south part of Italy, because we use the social funds. And so it was an occasion to promote the idea of quality of food, the idea of all products that were inside the box were recyclable. Okay, so it was connected with this idea, and it was connected with the idea to promote the territory, the quality, and the specific food of that region. For this objective, we took contact with Italy, and I made a choice with them to select one product for each region. And I have to say that all my colleagues from different European countries, they were very satisfied. They could find on the table their home box, and of course I presented it in a special way, saying that it was a reminder to the time in which everybody, when we were child, used to open the box prepared by the mother. So I said to them, go and open the box and discover what you can find inside. It is something related with the quality of living in Italy, the Italian way of living. So it was very, I would say, very successful. They learned a lot, and was a way of spending public money that I consider very effective, because we have also some sort of reduction of the cost in comparison with the traditional way of offering the lunch. So,
okay. Thank you.
Our master program in YED.
Yeah, of
started
course.
in January.
Since 10 years, we make a master food design in YED in Rome, and in English, and next year in January start another edition, and I think it's very, very interesting, because we start with 2 important industry, with Italy and Alcenero, that are very important in the Italian industry. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.